What up, everybody in the YTVC? So, real quick, because I need to make sure something is good. I haven't done a banner in a while because I want to put it up. Um, well, here we go. Haven't done one in a while. All right, so I'm gonna keep that banner up because normally when I do a live, I will read the chat as I'm going along. But I'm not going to be doing that till the very end, and that's for different reasons. One, I got some stuff I got to take care of. So, normally when I do a live, I have optimal time. Um, so I like to try to engage with the chat and everything, but this is going to be a little bit of a different live. Um, so I'm not going to be really looking at the chat until the end. That's when I'll greet everybody, and I might address some comments depending on what they are. But the other reason is I'm gonna try to get my train on the rails and stick with my train of thought and go through this whole thing. And not looking at the chat is gonna help me to do that. Because truth be told, I got ADD. For those of you who don't, ADD is attention deficit disorder. A lot of people the term ADHD, which is very similar. There's a hyper element to it. I don't have the hyper element, but I'm definitely ADD. So for those reasons, won't be looking at the chat. So let me go ahead and get into this. So first off, I want to start this live off by saying congratulations to Black and Brown Boxing. I think it was last week he hit 1,000 subs. So much respect to him. He put in a lot of hard work into his channel. Um, he earned it. I must say he earned it. Much respect. I s- I've seen Black and Brown blossom from somebody who is just a commenter to a full-fledged content creator. All right, and I like what he's doing over there with the Free Smoke Fridays. I like what he does over there with the big board, even though I haven't seen the big board in a while. Hashtag bring the big board back. But I'm sure it's still there. Um, and yeah, let me go ahead and just expand upon Black and Browns. It was somewhere around. It had to be in December of 2018. Was it 18? Might have been 19. Whenever I think it's 19. Now that I think about it, so whenever the AJ versus Ruiz, the second fight, happened, I was on a live with Black Horseman. It was his live, and some others, and we were talking about the fight, and we see a guy in the comments section by the name of Sacramento Expos, and all of us pretty much. I mean, I don't remember exactly who's on the panel, but most of us on the panel were in agreement that we thought AJ was going to win. Sacramento Expos felt very differently about the situation. And he said, "Oh, Andy's gonna win again," and all this stuff. And he jumped on the panel, and we talked about and everything. And Black said something to the effect of, "Well, if he loses, don't go disappearing. Come right back over here." He said, "Oh, I will." So anybody who's what happened, AJ won. So Sacramento Expos, he was true to his word. He came, he jumped on the live, he said he was wrong, and we jokingly heckled him a little bit. And he showed that you got some of these fans who they talk a whole gang of shit about a fight, and then when it doesn't go the way they predicted, they disappear or they stop coming around your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't they refuse to eat their crow. So that was Sacramento Expos. Later, I see in this account show up of Black and Brown Boxing. Then I see that somebody mentioned that he makes videos. I go out check him out, and I liked them. Lo and behold, turns out Black and Brown Boxing used to be Sacramento Expos, and I was like, okay, this explains why. I remember Sacramento Expos, but it explains why I haven't seen him for a while. So yeah, so that's Black and Brown, and he in the beginning he did some interviews with some boxers, no like elite boxers, but when you have the opportunity to interview a boxer, you should. They don't have to be like some world titleist, and I like that. I like that he was interviewing these guys. He's because Black and Brown actually goes to the fight. There's a lot of us in the YTBC who talk a whole bunch of shit about the sport and don't go to the fights. Now, fortunately for him, he lives in California where fights happen a bit more often. Where I live, I've only gone to one fight. Um, of course, there's other fights that happen here, but they're like ballrooms. Um, and not to say not to put those guys down. It's just you know it's hard for me to get excited about guys that I don't know anything about. Now, granted, I'm sure you could discover boxing. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get off the rails. I want to stick to the topic. And so yeah, so that's how Black and Brown kind of started out. Then he started doing his big board, which was a really good idea. I can honestly say I haven't seen anybody else do anything like that. Um, and then, of course, what he is probably most known for now, the Free Smoke Fridays, which has blossomed into something that I think is really good for the community. Um, and he built that. Black and Brown built that show from the ground up. There wasn't anybody really doing anything like that where guys can jump on a panel and um get out all that pent up aggression. If you watch those early Free Smoke Fridays, you know what I'm talking about. My apologies, I'm thirsty. I have a drink here. So, but yeah, that and it went from being very hectic and a lot of people talking over each other, um, to being more. It's evolved to what it is now, which is a very respectable platform to talk boxing. You know, so yeah, big shout out to Black and Brown. He hit 1,000 subscribers, and I must say I'm proud of the man for coming from where he was to where he is now. All right. Now, I didn't just do this live to give kudos to Black and Brown Boxing. All right. I had I felt like I had to share that story, the Black and Brown story from the RGM perspective, because there's some shit going on and I think he's being treated unfairly in the whole situation. All right. Now, let me tell a little bit more. Let me go back into the story just a little bit. So, from the very beginning of checking out Black and Brown channel, he he's always been real humble And I think this is something that a lot of people tend to do, and there's nothing wrong with it. And that is to show respect to the content creators that they watch. He kept bringing up the name of Punch Drunk Boxing. I had never heard of Punch Drunk before. All right. And then I had a hard time finding his channel, but eventually I found it and I subscribed, and I like Punch Drunk. All right. And that's the God's honest truth. I had no idea who Punch Drunk was. At the time, I think he had like 8,000 subscribers or something like that. How in the world I've been on this platform since 2015 and never came Punch Drunk? I don't know. However, the first person I ever heard mention his name was Black and Brown Boxing. Okay, so let's go ahead and fast forward to now. All right. So a couple nights ago, Black and Brown Boxing did a live um talking about the franchise belt, and he was talking about how it's not good for boxing. It's a bullshit belt, which technically it's not even a belt. It's actually a status. Supposedly, it all it was a status first. All of a sudden, it's a belt, but whatever. Um, and he's just giving his opinion. That's what all of us do here in this community. We come on here, we give our opinion, right? Now, um, I'm gonna try my best not to be disrespectful because that's not my intent with live, all right? But I'm gonna let you know this whole situation did rub me the wrong way. So if I say something that seems a bit vitriol, if I show my teeth a little bit, it's because of that. I have to say this whole situation did rub me the wrong way. All right. So, but I'm gonna try to keep it like as professional and respectful as I possibly can, because in all honesty, I do like Punch Drunk, but I have to say I think he's dead wrong on this in this particular uh in this particular situation and this matter. I have to side with Black and Brown, and I'm gonna go into that right now. All right. So apparently, Punch Drunk feels that Black and Brown was taking subliminal shots at him by saying that he doesn't think that uh, the franchise belt is good for boxing. That it's a bullshit belt. We need to do away with it. And you know what? I have to agree. I have to agree. Franchise, and this ain't nothing new. Anybody who's been sub to me for as long as the franchise has been around will know I've never been for the fucking franchise. I've always thought that it was stupid. It didn't make sense then, and it's still what has it been, like a year later, or however long later however long it's been, it still doesn't make sense now. Why doesn't it make sense? Because it doesn't exist in every division. Doesn't because supposedly you can't lose it by losing boxing match. Doesn't make sense because you don't have mandatories for it. It's not. I don't see how I'm supposed to hold it in such high regard and prestige, given all these facts of this belt, quote unquote belt that doesn't even exist. If it was in every division, I could give a little bit more credence to it. But that in itself, to me, is problematic. And even if it was in every division, yeah, that would legitimize it a little bit more. But if you can't lose it by losing a boxing match, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, it doesn't, that the biggest glaring issue with this whole franchise. And guess what? My opinion on the franchise has nothing to do with how Punch Drunk feels about it. As the same goes for Black and Brown. We are in a boxing community. We have opinions on things. And your opinions are not always going to line up with the people you fuck with. And you know what? It shouldn't. As much as we give shit to these boxers who only want yes men around them, we can't be doing this shit. Real talk. We cannot be acting like people got to check and see how we feel about something before they make a video or before they do a live. And I practice what I preach. I'm gonna go into this right now. All right, so I want to say it was when AJ beat Chico. I may be wrong on it, but it was definitely when AJ beat somebody, and I did and in that video I said the heavyweight division is back. It's back on the map. And shout out to Joseph Joe. He's changed his channel name now to, I think it's 415 Boxing, something along those lines. If you haven't checked him out, check him out. Good dude. But he did a video after that, whatever fight it was. Like I said, it was the AJ fight. He did a video, and in his video, he said that the heavyweight division wasn't back. It wasn't making noise. He didn't say my name. He didn't say anything about me. But his opinion was that the heavyweight division had more to do before it was back on, basically. All right. Now I could have been arrogant and said, "Oh, Joseph Jojo, he's taking subliminal shots at me because the heavyweight division is back," and he's, you know what I did? I had a video, the comment, good work. I just probably said something along the lines of, I still think that back, but fair play. If you feel, only time will tell if the heavyweight division is really back. Very situation. All right. I'm not arrogant like that. It's arrogance if you really think about it. Somebody's not gonna have on something unless you had one first. This Listen, like, I'm gonna go out on. I think it's safe to say, uh, Black and Brown Boxing's been watching boxing since long before he's been on. Probably before you. That's the case for me. Being in elementary school, my dad throwing pay-per-view. All his friends would come over. Everybody would ring. And I remember I'm looking at the chat now. Y'all let me know what was the last thing y'all heard me say, because I was just going off, and I don't know what's the last thing y'all heard. Just type it in the chat. What was the last thing you heard me talk about? I think it was just my internet, but yeah, because from time to time my internet just does whatever the fuck. Damn, 5 minutes? That's a long time. All right. Okay. All right. So let me just try to get back on the rails with this. Okay. So this is because I'm trying to remember. Try to give y'all a quick synopsis of what I said while I was gone, because I honestly wasn't looking at my tablet. I went and looked real quick, and I was like, not in. Um, I remember what I was saying. All right, so what I was talking about was, the other thing that really rubbed me the wrong way about this whole situation. Um, apparently, there's a whole dynamic where Punk feels that Black and Brown would basically have no subscribers if it wasn't for him. Every subscriber that's there is a Punch Drunk subscriber. But getting of this live, I said, I told the whole story. So if you didn't hear it, catch it on the playback. But I told the whole story of how I met Black and Brown Boxing and how I subscribed to Black and Brown Boxing. And when I subscribed to Black and Brown Boxing, I didn't even know who was. I had never heard of Punch Drunk Boxing, and I've been on here since 2015. Jedi is there, so he can vouch for that. He was there from the beginning. Jedi was for me. He was there from the very beginning of my channel, so he could tell you I've been here since 2015. So for whatever reason, and and, and from time to time, I'll look up boxing talk in YouTube. Like I'll just type it in a search and do a filter for that current day's videos, and I'll try to find channels that I never seen before. Like watching good channels. And for whatever reason, I never came across Punch Drunk. But the reality is this: Black and Brown Boxing would talk about Punch Drunk, and that's how I was introduced to Punch Drunk. Real talk. And I'm not gonna say that Punch Drunk, he owes all his success to Black and Brown Boxing, but the reality is this: I'm probably not the only one who found out about Punch Drunk through Black and Brown Boxing. Say that that all his subscribers are your subscribers. No, that's simply not true. And I know because I'm one of those subscribers who didn't know who the hell Punch Drunk was when I knew Black and Brown first, and Black and Brown is the one who told me about Punch Drunk, and that's just a fact. So it rubs me the wrong way when he's trying to take credit for everything that this man's built. Now here's the thing: I did a spotlight on Black and Brown Boxing. You know what? He hit 1,000 subscribers last week. Big up to him. Did I play a part in his success? I did. I did play a part in his success. Does he owe all his success to me? Hell no. I like to compare this to football, right? I threw him the ball. Whatever he did with it after that is on him. And He ran with it. And as far as I know, the man hit he went and got a touchdown. I ain't mad at it. I'm glad that his channel has grown and that he's, been able to do what he does. And the reason why I can't just sit back and watch all this play without me saying something is because I know for a fact Black and Brown Boxing is a genuine dude. I know for a fact that just like me, he wants what's best for this community. Me and Black and Brown have each other's phone numbers, all right? There's not that many people who have my number on here. And if you don't have my number, it doesn't mean that I don't like you or whatever. There's some people that I've actually given my number and for whatever reason they haven't called me or whatever. It's perfectly fine. I'm not those people who get butthurt over shit like that. If I give you my number and you decide never to call me, text me or whatever, that's cool. But there's some people that have my number that we've actually talked on the phone or texted or both. All right. Black and Brown Boxing is one of those people. So, and we don't talk on the phone that often. But since we've had each other's phone numbers, I want to say we probably talk to each other once every quarter. And I can honestly say in every single conversation that me and him have had, he's never talked about wanting to get more subs. He's never talked about pushing an agenda. He's never talked about hold on. All right, I had a cough and I did not want to cough in y'all's ears. So but yeah, he's never wanted to, it's never been on some sneaky shit. Every time I've ever talked to him, it's always been like either him checking up on me or some other shit. So, some things that I'm not going to get into because I try when it comes to private conversations, I try to keep them private unless that individual tells me they want me to express something, which I'm going to kind of break that rule here in a little bit. But he is a genuine guy, and I know that for a fact. Okay? Now, here's where I'm going to break my rule about, keeping private things private, but I think it's necessary to go into this to get to understand why I say he's genuine, all right? Now, in the early days of Free Smoke Friday, me and him had a conversation on the phone. It was probably about a month or two into doing Free Smoke Friday. And I told him, I see what you're doing over there with Free Smoke Friday. I like what you're doing over there. And this was literally what he told. He said, I don't know, man. He's like, it's kind of toxic. This isn't what I want for the community. All right. Now, mind you, from the beginning, when shit started happening on there, people going at each other's throats and everything, he was getting views. His subscribers were going up, but he wasn't happy on how it was happening. It wasn't that he was trying to pit people against each other. That's just the nature of the beast. Now, me, I saw the potential in Free Smoke Friday, and I knew that if he kept it up organically, it would evolve into something better. So I encouraged him. I said, I think you should keep doing it. It's a good way for people to end the week. And now it's not as hectic as it used to be. And I'm pretty sure Black and Brown Boxing is satisfied with what it's become now. All right. But that tells me he's genuine. He's not the kind of guy who walks over other people to get to the top. So when I hear things like he's taking subliminal shots at other people, I can't do that. I can't, and I won't. All right. The reality is this. All right. Like I said, we are in a community, in the boxing community, and your friends should not have to check to see what you got to say about something before they make a video. You should not be wanting yes men all around you. And that's just a fact. And like I said, I got respect for um Punch Drunk, but in this particular situation, I gotta say he's wrong. He is wrong about black and brown boxing. Because there's a lot of pieces of shit in the community. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of shitty people who who can be bought and sold to the highest bidder. They're super chat whores. And some of them may not be super chat whores, but they're subscriber whores. And you got race baiters. You got a lot of shitty people in this community. Black and brown boxing just isn't one of them. So when I see this kind of treatment going his way, I have to say something. Because it's bullshit. And to be honest, it doesn't surprise me that Rapstar is over there putting a battery in his back. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I never liked that dude. I have never liked that dude. He's always rubbed me the wrong way. The way he moves, to me, is not something that I like. But other people seem to get along with him, and I'm not one of those people where it's like, oh, it's either him or me. And I'm not even one of the types to tell you, oh, if you're gonna chill with him, watch your back. I'm not that kind of person. But I'm gonna be honest, I never liked that dude. There's certain things that he's done that I'm like, he's wrong for that. And there's interaction in me where I'm like, you know what, fuck this dude. But like I said, I'm not the type to go around behind the scenes and start talking shit about people. This is the first time that I have told anybody that I don't like Rapstar. So, but I'm just saying, it doesn't surprise me that he's over there feeding the beast. And when I say feeding the beast, I'm not talking about Punch Drunk, because I legitimately think that Punch Drunk is a good dude. I just think he's out of line here. Nobody's perfect. But it doesn't help when you got somebody like Rapstar feeding the beast, which is this beef. The beef itself is the beast. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I never liked him. But when I don't like somebody, I don't go out of my way to make videos about them or whatever. Whatever it is that they do, let them do them. There's always a possibility that maybe I just got it wrong. But in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I feel like I made a good judgment call on that dude. But to me, it's ridiculous to act like somebody can't talk about something unless they watched you talk about it. Because that's the impression that I get. It's like I said, I've had an opinion about the franchise belt since I heard about it. And I didn't go around watching to see what Armstrong had to say. I didn't go around watching to see what the Jedi had to say. I didn't go around to see what Black and Brown Boxing had to say. I respect all these guys, but I have my own opinion. And if I'm alive that just so happens to oppose your point of view, it's not a subliminal attack at you. It's a very direct attack on Maurice Suleiman's fat ass. That's what you need to realize. Black and Brown never saw you as the enemy. It's Mauricio Suleiman's fat ass who's the enemy. And trust me, I'm all for roasting that pig. Real talk. So it's very disappointing to me to see Black and Brown going through this. He shouldn't have to worry about people thinking that his opinion, everybody's opinion, it revolves around yours, and that's that's toxic. If I'm being honest, but I don't think Punch Drunk is a toxic dude. So I don't know why he's doing this. I don't know what. I just think that he made a bad judgment call. But like I said, when you got guys like Rap Star who are there feeding the beast, it does not help the situation. So yeah, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm one of them people who can't be bought or sold to the highest bidder. If I gain subscribers, if I lose subscribers, if I ever get to the point where I'm getting super chats, you best believe, um, I don't want nobody sending me super chats just because I'm telling them what they like to hear. Because once you start doing that, you got to keep doing that. And I ain't never doing that. And from what I could tell, Black and Brown, he's not one of them people either. So, like I said, to me, there's a certain level of ego and arrogance that are happening here. I want to think the best of Punch Drunk in this situation, but I have to say, it is disappointing. Because like I said, you definitely you definitely can't take credit for every subscriber that he has. Every subscriber that Black and Brown has. Because I'm one of those subscribers who found out about you because of him. And like I said, I did a spotlight on him in the early days. And I'll be damned if I'm going to try to take credit for everything that man built in his channel. All right, I think I said everything I needed to say. I'm going to go ahead and look at the comments now. Let me get rid of that banner. Okay, there we go. All right, let me take a look at the comments, see what y'all got to say. It is Hawker. It is what it is, Part of it is my fault for not doing. There's been periods of time where I put absolutely no content out. But I don't regret that. Just if my heart's not in it, I want to make content, So what I put out, that's because that's what I feel talking about content to put out content. Because then you become one of these channels where it's like breaking news: Anthony Joshua likes lasagna over chicken Alfredo. Like I don't want to become one of them channels. Let me see what else. Oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Big shout out to everybody. I'm not gonna do it individually just because, I just been talking and I'm just gonna say what up to stopping by. But hold on, I'm trying to see what y'all talking about. Yeah, I remember that too. I didn't get in the middle of all that. The time I was cool with both of them. Um, that wasn't really, in my opinion, that wasn't really a whole lot to do with boxing. That was on some other shit, so I just stayed out of that. But got on this one is because I know I gotta say something. No, I get that, Boxing Jedi. You know, if that was the case, you know, I think Black and Brown made a mistake in making that judgment call, but that's um I think, you know, that sometimes it's best not to choose sides in most cases. In this case, I think kind of necessary because here's the thing: if it can happen to Black and Brown boxing, it can happen to anybody. You know, like people like Jedi, for instance. I'll use you as an example. So you have very strong opinions about Manny Pacquiao versus Ugas, right? Now, my last video I uploaded, my point of view is quite a bit different from. But here's the thing: that video I recorded early in the day, the same day that you went live to talk about it. It would have been wrong of you to say I was taking subliminal shots at you for having an opposing opinion, being that I recorded that before I even knew what your opinion was. You know? And as men, we shouldn't be agreeing all the time. It's like I said earlier, like a lot of us get onto these boxers for wanting nothing but yes men in their corner and in their camps. But if you're just gonna want to get around you in the YTBC, then you're no better. So, you know, I respect Jedi's opinion, even if I don't necessarily agree with it. And that's how it's gonna be. Like I said, Jedi's been there with me since day one for me, and he didn't know me nothing. So, you know, I ain't never gonna go against I'm never gonna talk shit about Boxing Jedi. I ain't never gonna stab him in the back. If anybody were to tell me, "Oh, Boxing Jedi said this about you," I'm not gonna I'm not gonna believe it. If anything, I'm just gonna go to Jedi and say, "Look, somebody said this about that. You said this, and I don't believe it. You can feel free to clear it up if you want to, but I'm gonna go ahead and assume that it didn't happen." So yeah, Brown Gone one. You do troll, but you're when you do it, it's friendly. It's not anything like crazy behind it. You're just having a good time, and I can't be mad at that. I'll never forget uh, when you went to Mr. Arkansas's live and said that he was racist because he called you a beaner with the hard ER. And I know that he was just messing around. Yeah, um, you good with your trolling. I gotta give you props on that. So, um, hold on real. Pratik said the LDBC is on Heyman's payroll. Well, I'm not here to talk about Heyman or the LDBC or any of that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I fuck with Black and Brown. Like I said, we have each other's phone numbers, and actually, um, in November, there's a good chance that I'm gonna be in California, and if I do end up in Sacramento, which every time I've been to California, I'm pretty sure every time I've been to California, I've ended up in Sacramento at some point. So yeah, if I do end up in Sacramento on this trip when I go to California in November, you best believe I'm gonna meet up with Black and Brown Boxing because he's a same thing with Boxing Jedi. One day, um, we're gonna meet, you know, and I've met Scalebender. I'm not opposed to meeting people who I'm cool with. Pastor. but um, but yeah, like we as a community, we need to do better. We need to understand if somebody says something about a boxing situation and it doesn't line up with what you say about that same situation, they're not. Doesn't mean they're taking subliminals at you. It means they have an opinion that just differs from yours. Like I said, I don't. It does not surprise me that Rapstar is doing the shit that he's doing. Like I said, I always felt like that dude was kind of shady. I'll I'll tell y'all what he did to. There's other shit that I've seen, but I'm not gonna get into those things. But I'll tell you what he did in my situation where I'm like, fuck this dude, and that is him and JFL got into it because JFL wanted, or actually, he's the one who initiated the conversation. He wanted to make a bet with JFL on the Spence Danny Garcia fight. Not surprising, right? JFL, y'all know who he was betting for. You know who he was betting on in that fight. But anyways, Repstar wanted to make a bet with him. JFL, the whole conversation was going good until JFL said, um, "There's one thing. Uh, if there's a robbery, we don't have to pay the other man." And of course, we all know that's bullshit. All right, you can't make a bet based off of how somebody feels who won the fight. The bet has to be made on who will actually get the fight, and you have to take in account whether or not a robbery could occur. And of course, we all know JFL is just fucking biased toward Danny Garcia. In his eyes, Danny Garcia is undefeated. So I was on the panel when this was all going down, and I was letting JFL know that's not how a bet works. If you make a bet in Las Vegas with a rookie, they ain't gonna take that bet based off of how you feel the fight went. The bet goes solely off of what is gonna end up on BoxRec, basically. What what is it gonna say on their record on BoxRec? That is what they're gonna go by. And if they got robbed, you got robbed too. That's the way that betting works. I was trying to explain that to JFL, and I'm not gonna say who it is, but somebody jumped on there and started talking shit to me. And then Rapstar starts attacking me too. Now, mind you, I'm over there telling JFL that he's being a bitch, trying to make a bet based off of his feelings. And Rapstar starts attacking me. I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit? But you know what? I actually wasn't surprised because even before then, I kind of felt like Rapstar wasn't really somebody to trust. So it doesn't surprise me that he's over there putting a battery in Punch Drunk's back, feeding the beast of this beef when really he just needs to learn to shut the fuck up. And if he got a problem with that, I'll drop a link and he can come and talk to me about it. But that's how I feel about it. Rapstar, just shut the fuck up when it comes to other people's beefs. Damn. Like these guys should be trying to hash it out, and you're over there trying to put a battery in the back of this man. To me, that's grimy. That shows me you're not somebody to be trusted. So it is what it is. But yeah, I got some shit I got to take care of. Shout out to everybody who showed up. Like I said, I usually try to do it name by name, but that's because I do it as y'all are coming. And in the beginning, I just went into the whole story and everything. And I'm gonna lose my train of thought, so I didn't look at the chat for like the first 40 minutes of this live. So big shout out to everybody. But yeah, big shout out to Black and Brown Boxing. Keep doing your thing. Don't let anybody try to tell you that the only reason why you're successful is because of them, because it's not. Yes, there are people who played a part in your success, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much I recommend you to somebody. If they go over to your channel and you're not likable and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, they're not gonna they might sub to you at first based off of my recommendation, but eventually they're gonna so the fact that you've been able to go reach 1,000 subs, that tells me that you're doing your own shit. You're doing your own work. So don't let continue to not let anybody take credit for what you've built over there. That includes me. Like I said, I did a spotlight on you, and I like to think that I just passed the ball to you. You ran with it. You got the touchdown, and you keep doing you, man. Keep doing you. Don't let this discourage you. Um, I'm not unsubbing from Punch Drunk. I'm just saying he's wrong about Black and Brown Boxing, and you know what? He's a man. He's not perfect. He's not gonna be right about everything. He sure as hell ain't right about the franchise, in my opinion. And that's not a subliminal shot. That's just a fact. A fact about my opinion, that is. So yeah, y'all have a good day. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I just had to show support for Black and Brown Boxing. Hoping Punch Drunk sees this and maybe it'll allow him to see it through a different perspective. Um, and if he goes on to say that I'm over here being a hater or whatever, it is what it is, man. It's like I said, I'm not over here to be bought and sold to the high bidder. I don't give a shit if you got 2 subscribers or 2 million subscribers. Your name ain't Felix Schellberg. It ain't. For those of y'all who don't know who that is, that's PewDiePie, who has over 100 million subscribers. So in the grand scheme of things, your 10,000 or whatever it is at this time, it's not that impressive. And I don't say that to put you down. I say that to put it into perspective. Like, you know, realize what reality is. All right. Black and Brown, I'm sure you sent plenty of people his way. But guess what? If you had the power that you think you had, he would have as many subscribers as you right now, and he doesn't. So he's building his shit the right way, and I think you need to give him credit for that. All right, people aren't subbed to him simply because he's cool with you or was cool with you. I don't know what the whole situation is there, but I think some people have a bit too high of an opinion of themselves, and you know what they say: pride comes before the fall. Day, y'all be safe. Um, I am not watching Paul versus Woodley because that's not a real boxing match. Hawker asked me if I'm going to watch the undercard. The answer is no, because I'm not paying for the fucking pay-per-view. In fact, I just have other shit I'm going to do tonight with my girlfriend. We're going to have a good time. And if Woodley wins, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm a straight up Jake Paul hater. So I'm hoping he gets his ass knocked out. I'm just not willing to pay for it. So, but if he does, best believe I'm going to be making a video. And hey, anybody wants to call me a Jake Paul hater, guilty as charged. I'm not even going to argue with you. When it comes to real boxing, I try to call it straight down the middle. This is not a real boxing match, so I'll be as biased as I want to be. Fuck Jake Paul. That being said, y'all be blessed. Peace.